Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
We good? I'm good for now, right? New shirt. Do you like it? Thank you. Make sure I'm okay here. Make sure I'm okay here.
I don't know what this thing is. A great gets a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, look up in the sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Who is that flying around up there? And are clear cakes the next best thing at your next birthday party? And full details on that whole mountain lion story. And what is a CriCUt machine and why you must have it. And it's a big gift that's going to happen this year for Christmas time. How are you? How are things going? You're listening to DeaconLive. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And before we get started, big stretch, big arms above our heads, and breathe in. Oh, and breathe out. And guess what, guys? Tomorrow is early voting. Start early voting. You know what I always say, vote early, vote often. And tomorrow will be the first day of early voting. And so that means you can go down to your public polling place, wear a mask. I don't know about the mail-in thing. I really haven't been following that too much as far as what they're going to do with that, if it's going to be a thing. Some states do, some states don't. But here's the thing. So we're going down, my wife and I, we're going to early vote. Now, I was talking to IT Dan, and we've got some darker conversations if you're interested in that. And the way you hear those is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on Is This Going Somewhere? And they're darker conversations. I don't get into a whole lot of political stuff here on the show. I try to stay away from it, but it's inevitable. We're just a few weeks away from this electoral voting thing that we do every 4 years for president and every 2 years, depending on, what congressional seats up. But I'm just letting you know, we're going to touch on it a little bit. I don't want to get you guys turned off by it, but we're just going to touch on it a little bit because sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's funny to sit there and laugh at yourself and just think of the way this country is right now. Anyway, so voting polls are going to be open. Early voting polls are going to be open. So we're going to go down, my wife and I, we found out where it's at. It's about 6 miles from the house here, from our ranch. And we have those of you who don't know what a ranch is, it's part farm, part ranch. We've got 20 some odd acres, horses, cattle, chickens, me, oh my, we've got all that stuff here. So we got about 6 miles at a church, which is weird that you would have a, voting booth at a church. But yeah, it's some kind of holy Zion of, Presbyterian United Catholics organization or something. That's where we're voting at. Church and state and all. But we're going down there. Now, since it is election year, my wife and I, there's a thing on Netflix. We like to watch Netflix. We like to watch the kooky shows. She gets into the Kardashians. I know it's not on Netflix, but she watches all those horrible shows where the women are just catty. They're catty. It's the equivalent of a whole bunch of women in an office space, and everyone's just cats. They're you're bitch or whatever. Anyways, so she likes watching the drama. It's light. It's Moosh TV is what I call it, like mush your brain. But we were watching every once in a while. We like to feel intelligent. We watch a documentary or two, and this one came out by I'm sure you've seen the series before. It's called Explain. And what they do is they take, 25 minutes, real short. You're in and out. It gives you like the main PowerPoints as far as what they're talking about at a certain time. Like they tell you how cell phone works and how your mortgage works and how, this works and how that works. And it's always narrated by someone of a celebrity stature. Now, right now, they've got a 4-part series about voting and how voting is and the way voting happens and what happens, how important it is to vote. Not that they were preaching anything, but, a lot of people say, well, my vote doesn't count. Well, technically it does. And they explain to you the steps and the process of certain levels of voting and what happens. Like, for example, how much money it costs just to run for president, and the way the money's funneled in, and the way it's not supposed to touch the president's hands or the guy who's running for it, and the way they get around all that. And you just kind of go, well, you always say, why do we let that? Well, because the people we put in office in those congressional seats let this happen. We vote them in, and they vote for however it makes them feel better as far as what they're doing. Now, here's the thing. Here's the argument. My wife and I, we normally don't talk about politics. You know, when there's a Biden commercial on TV and then there's a Trump commercial on TV, I don't say anything. I just kind of look at watch both of them and go, oh, all right, cool, got it. You know, I was explaining to my the IT Dan guy. I said, you know, you can't tell me that Citizen Kane is the best movie. Let me figure that out. You know, let me watch it. You know, let me watch Shawshank Redemption. Let me figure it out if it's a good movie or not. You know, no. I personally like Pulp Fiction, but that's just me. So, you know, my wife, same commercials come on. Oh, look at him. How can you respect him? How can you listen to him? He's a bumbling idiot. He's this and he's that. And I just kind of go, okay, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, religion and politics. You don't want to bring that to the dinner table. And I'm definitely not going to bring it into our marriage. I think my wife and I have talked about politics maybe once every 4 years. Of course, how ironic. But we've never talked religion. We never talked about, you know, the Holy Spirit and ghosts and the Trinity of all that stuff. So, and we've kept it like that. I mean, it's just an understanding. But the other night we were watching the Explain thing, and there was something that came on. They were talking about gerrymandering. Now, if you don't know what gerrymandering is, it's where they redistrict your areas based on what's more suitable for your political candidate that you're running. So, for example, if I'm a Republican and I'm going to talk about North Carolina, so let's say Raleigh's more Republican than it is Democratic, so I'm going to divide the districts up to favor the Republican Party. I'm going to draw like literally a line and go around 3 houses because they're Democratic and you know, kind of circle in the Republican people in my district, and then go down another street, literally street by street, you're drawing these lines. So my wife goes, well, see, that's wrong. Well, technically it's not. I said it's on a local level where they can actually do this. And she's like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you can't blame the upper heads of government. You have to blame. It has to start on ground level. She's like, no, it doesn't. It starts up there. I'm like, yeah, but it's every 10 years. Every time we do the census, they redraw the lines. So what happens is you've got 10 years to fix your district, essentially. So the governor of North Carolina is a Democrat. Roy Cooper, I think his election's coming up here shortly. So what he likes to do, this 10 years, if he's, you know, elected and stuff, he's going to redraw the lines to favor a Democratic district. Now, the Democratic district, each district either has a mayor or representative or something like that. They pass laws or referendums and stuff for those local little districts. So, for example, we live in Marshville, so we have a council, and the council passes rules and stuff for our little area. So if Roy Cooper wants to have Marshville as in its circle, you know, in its Democratic graphs or whatever, the people and stuff in office try to make Marshville as Democratic as possible. And what they do is they pass rules and they pass legislation to draw the Democratic Party or Democratic people who would lean towards the Democratic Party in this area. She's like, no, they don't. I'm like, but they do. Your mayors do, your city council members do. They pass rules and legislation and draw lines already in a smaller sense to attract you want a certain, you know, you want a Republican mindset in this area. You want a Democratic mindset in this area. So rules and legislation is passed on those small local levels. And she was like, no, that's not how it happens. But I'm like, but it does. That's what happened. We went round and round and round and round in circles. And finally we kissed and said, you know what, babe? I'm right. You're right. Everyone else is wrong. I love you. Let's watch the next episode. So we did. We had a, you know, nightcap or two and we, you know, loose lips and stuff. So, but we did. We literally we're sitting in bed, leaning with our backs up against the headboard and pounding on the blankets, looking at each other, dead in eyes, like, you are wrong. No, you are wrong. I was ready to take my shoe off and throw it, like in Parliament, and they threw it across the room. You're not listening. No, you're not listening to me. Anyway, so we got into that. But yeah, early voting's coming up. You guys get ready. Now, California, pay attention. Pay attention. You know, they were talking about mailing in votes. excuse me, early voting, and you can mail in your actual ballot, but a lot of people don't trust the mail system, and that's one of the things that they were talking about in the Explain documentary thing. There's actually voting boxes or voting, almost like you would drop a letter off at the mail. A lot of people don't trust the mail right now, so they actually physically have these boxes that are in these locations that say, drop in ballots here, and people go to these boxes and drop it like you were dropping off something at Blockbuster. You guys remember that place? They lasted a while, didn't they? Changed with the times. But they would drop their vote off in these actual vote boxes. Now, pay attention, California, because there's some mischievous stuff going on. I'm going to let this young lady from ABC tell you what's happening.
The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
And I'm looking over there because that's Teacher Man. Oh, going crazy. Okay, here we go.
Queen City Studio.
There we go.
With the Deacon live.
Right now. Ready? Yes.
There we go. Hold on. It takes like 2 or 3 times, so don't worry. Hey guys, welcome back. You are listening to DeaconLive right here on Prophet Radio. Give us a call at the station at 407-448-8880 or text us live at any time in the Queen City studio located in downtown Charlotte, North Carolina at 407-448-8800. Make sure you follow us on the Facebook. Make sure you follow us on the Instagram. We have our own website. Well, Prophet Radio has their own website and stuff, and that's where we're linked into, and you can join us, follow us, do all that stuff. We've got the Prophet Radio website, which is exciting, but we'll get into that a little bit later on today's show. I'm gonna start this all over. Sometimes I forget to turn off the back stuff here. All right, so insert audio track. Let's see. Oh, I need the opening. Yay!
Live.
There you go. As soon as I start this, phone rings off the hook. Well, on today's show, if you call in during the show, we'll put you on the air. How's that sound? Sounds intimidating, doesn't it? Sounds very intimidating. Relax. I know. Everyone gets paid by the second here. Motor oil. This fucking chair. Hey guys, welcome back. It is DeaconLive right here on Prophet Radio. On today's show, hold up, it's a 22. Pew pew pew. High blood pressure could give you cancer, or will give you cancer. To do, everyone knows. You ready? Here we go. Big stretch. Oh man. Whew. What a week. What a week. When you do a podcast and then you start getting ratings and stuff like we do, thank you very much. I'm looking at the camera. By the way, I forgot. Oh, I totally blanked on that one. I'm going to get lectured this week, I'm sure. We record live video here in the studio, and then we post it on the YouTube channel at Prophet Radio, and also on Twitch with Prophet Radio. So, and then we see all the views. So if you guys want to see what's going on behind the scenes, just go to the website. So, I don't know. I'm going to dive into this a little bit more when we come back. Stick around. You're listening to DeaconLive right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Boop. again. What kind of guarantee? He's like, well, if it comes right down to it, I won't charge you for this, and I won't charge you for that, and I won't charge you for this. I'll vacuum the system. I have to charge you for vacuuming the system out and putting the stuff back in, but I won't charge you for cutting and piecing and whatever like that. Okay, fine, no problem. So he puts it all back together. We're still at $220. He puts the AC on. The AC runs fine. I'm like, sweet, it's nice and cold. Well, the unit also does heat. So he goes, let me turn the heat on. Turns the heat on, of course, blah, 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 blah. He goes back downstairs because the Queen City studio sits up above our 3-car garage. And he goes back downstairs. And he comes back up and he's like going, remember the whole thing I told you about having to cut the thing off and I was going to do it for free and all that stuff? He goes, well, it's not holding up. He goes, I've got to cut that thing off. I got to flare out the soft copper. I've got to do all that stuff now. And I'm like going, Jesus Christ, really? He goes, yeah, I'm sorry. He goes, I don't know. I'm completely at all here as far as why wasn't this done the first time around. He's like, well, I looked at it. He's a young kid. When I say young kid, he's probably mid-30s. And he's looking at me, and I'm like going, dude, help me out. What can you do? He's like, well, sir, last time I was here, I did a lot of stuff for free. I didn't charge you for it. And I'm like going, okay, fine. That was the last time. But the free stuff you were giving me didn't fucking work this time around. God damn it. So I'm like, all right, man, look, do me a favor. I said, do what you need to do. Keep it as low as possible. I'll be in the yard contemplating my my next move as far as what I'm going to do with this stupid thing. We bought the thing for $700 with a grand donation through Patreon/DeaconLive from all our listeners out there. One of our listeners said, hey, Deacon, you need a brand new AC unit. Here's a donation. And I'm like going, sweet. Now we're, $200 and some odd dollars. And then he comes back. The bill, before I get into this, Mr. Deacon, is going to be tax and everything out the door is going to be $411. $411! $411 for him to fix this thing. He goes, what costs the most is vacuuming the whole system out, cutting the thing and putting the bell on it and redoing the pipe is not hard. I said, yeah, I know. I've done it before. I've done it with PVC, PEX pipe, CPVC, hard copper, type L, type, what's the other one? Type P. But this time, I have more confidence in the unit. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. All right, do it. Sure enough, $411 later, we're up and running. But this time, I have more confidence in the unit. There's, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the unit. They found a, and I bought it. There's, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the unit. They found a defect in the actual in the unit. There's, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the unit. They found a defect, and in the unit. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the unit. They found a defect in the actual, and I bought it. We bought it from Amazon. From Chinese people all over in the Chinese people place. So there was a small defect on the fitting and stuff. Yeah, go try to get that $400 and something back from them. Try that. That's not going to work. When we come back, we're going to get on the phone lines with Gretchen B. She is in Central Florida. She's getting ready to go through this storm Dorian. So stick around. When we come back, we'll talk to her. And you know what? I'm glad you guys have shared this video that you found of me on my Facebook page. I haven't opened it yet, but I want to do it all here, right here on the air. You're listening to DeaconLive right here on Proper Radio. I'll be right back.
I don't know. What kind of parties you go to?
Join us this New Year's Eve on Prophet Radio.
Yep.
Join Prophet Radio as we play the top 100 songs from each year for the last...
Prophet Radio.
Don't know what's going on.